let's talk Freida McFadden, or whatever this bitch's real name is, or if they even exist. But let's get into it. So I had been able to read 3 of her books within a 2-week time period. So I like finished Carmilla at the end of the first week of January, and then I just finished both of these two. These two this week, and this one last week. So I'm gonna roll, but only because she writes like a Wattpadder. It's also really disheartening because right now there are rumors going around. So allegedly, I don't know. This is not even a real person. Like, this is a ghostwriter, and the person who is in a wig, or not in a wig, allegedly, doing the interviews and shit is not actually her. And I know that some publishing companies do this when they have a ghostwriter and then the book turns out bigger than expected. However, it's just so bad that I feel like no matter how much money I would be actually getting, I would not want this for myself. Like, I'd have to read the book before I'm gonna sit here and say I wrote this, because first of all, ableist. All three of them, these 3 books, ableist. Also, no hate to my friend Seti, because she bought this book for me. Love you, queen. I know this was a Google AI recommendation when you searched up thriller books. But it's okay. That's another thing. Her plots are good, but I also saw my dog. That's another thing, is that I saw alien spaceships. I saw online, which I take with a grain of salt, but I also love to spread misinformation. So if you want to believe this as 100% true, go ahead. I saw that she is using AI, or whoever's writing these is using AI and is plagiarizing plots, because I actually really like a lot of these plots. And this one definitely has Gone Girl vibes to it. 100% plagiarized Gone Girl, and just added 1,000 more characters to it for no reason, actually. However, I'm all over the place. Let's start with the first book I read. Ward D. Ableist as fuck. Everyone here has schizophrenia. No one here has borderline personality disorder, or depression, or ADHD, and just hospitalize themselves because they had a bad moment. Like, everyone here is schizophrenic in the book. Everyone here is insane. And it really upsets me as someone who, it's really disheartening as someone who went to the psych ward multiple times. A lot of them are homeless people who just needed a place to stay, because it always depends, like 24, 72 hour stay. Depends on like what state you're from or why you're in there. My dog again. So, and the very first page, let me flip, because I actually have it tabbed. I was gonna start tabbing it every time something ableist happened, but like I was flying through these tabs. So I was like, I'll just, it says right here what you're not allowed to have, and all is very bit alcohol, flammable liquids, thumbtacks, pens, all that stuff, right? The second she steps foot in there, they're like, oh, actually we let this lady keep her knitting needles. Not even the most expensive private psych ward will let you keep a knitting needle, okay? They're not doing that. So a public hospital with barely any funds is definitely not letting you keep. Mind you, when I had to go there, they made me take out my piercings, okay? Like, so I was like, what are you guys talking about over here? They made me take out the strings for my hoodie, for my shoelaces. I had basically boneless Timbs on, no laces, nothing. I was not able to have jack shit. So it was just so frustrating. Like, my thoughts are all over the place because like I just hate this author. I hate her. And it upsets me because these plots are really good. And I thought that like I knew it was gonna explore mental health. But the thing is, I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, this person did that because he has this. No, the person did that because they're a bad person that happens to have that mental illness. Like, I feel like a lot of this comes from the serial killer, like, fanaticism, or like the whole shit that they're like, oh, you know, like he did, like Jeffrey Dahmer being like, oh, he actually has borderline personality disorder and he just wanted to be loved, and that's why no, actually, he just did that because he's fucking sick. He's a sick human being. It doesn't matter that he had abandonment issues and mommy issues and whatever God else, like whatever, you know, because I have borderline personality disorder. I have borderline personality disorder, and never, not once, have I thought, well, no. But I do feel like I do go insane anytime someone leaves me or abandons me. But I don't go hunting for people and try to enforce, like, kidnap them, basically, hold them hostage, because that's insane. And I feel like people use the word insane that's synonymous to, I feel like so many people are like, oh, he's insane, so he has like something wrong with his mind. But I always think of like something insane, I think of like to the extreme level. I hope that makes sense. And I could look up the word and add it in there after. But I just and then I found out that while she was writing this book, she had to like keep going back because she kept writing the word crazy in it. And it's like, and it's like it's just so many bad things with this book. And I will say, like I said, her plots are really interesting. Her characters suck, all of them in every book. They all fucking suck. They're all stupid. But Ward D stressfully, yeah, genuinely stresses me out because she's a neuroscience doctor, so she had to study. Well, I'm assuming she had to study psychology. But she definitely had to take a psychology course. So it's just disheartening to know that you're like the main character thinks they're all fucking crazy in there, and she's scared of them, and it's like, why? Because this is gonna be controversial. First long video. I'm more scared of a person than I am of someone who's schizophrenic. I don't know, that's just me though. Like like, I don't care if he believes he's God, you know what I mean? Like, but I do know that take it very seriously, and they will kill me. So yeah, I will believe that you're Spider-Man. I'd rather take that. So it's just, yeah. But overall, for Ward D, I have a lot of thoughts, and I didn't write it down, and I should have, because this video is a mess. Overall, bullshit book. Didn't like the plot, hated the characters. Oh, the plot twist being that her friend kidnaps her teacher because she has bipolar disorder. Someone in my family has bipolar disorder, and I promise you, they never, ever kidnapped a math teacher. So, how about that? And again, and like, then it turns out that she killed her mother, and that she wants to kill the main character because, whatever, right? And it's like, you're not understanding the nuance. And you're a neuroscience doctor. Like, you study the brain. And you don't understand that some people are just bad people. It like it drives me up the fucking wall. But my therapist said I could look at it another way, and it's like mental health providers being really drained. Stretch. Okay, stretch. Let's talk about this one. The crash. Let's talk about the next one. And again, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I should have wrote it down. I'm not. The crash. Again, good plot overall. Oh my god, hold on before we move on. The other plot twist in this book is the fact that like she has hallucinations, so she's also schizophrenic. Why are you hiding information is not being an unreliable. Can I speak? Can I talk? Having our main character, our narrator, hide something from us is not being unreliable. You are being a liar. You're being a liar. Liar. You lie. You know who's an unreliable... Can I talk? Can I say the word? You know who's an unreliable narrator? Katniss. She's like, he hates me. And Peter's like, she's so hot, actually. Like, that's what it is. It's when a narrator doesn't understand what is going on in the real world. Another one, I just a deep descent into darkness or some shit like that. I'll put the actual title here. But it's some guy literally losing his mind. And he's like, oh, I'm here filming a documentary that they pay for me. And then you find out that he killed people. Because he's going insane. He doesn't remember any of that. So it's like, that is an unreliable narrator. He's not lying to me because he doesn't remember. He doesn't know. He's manic. As for Katniss, she's perceiving everything else differently. Yada, yada. I can't talk about the Hunger Games. I go into something else. So, you can't lie. You shouldn't lie. You shouldn't lie. Especially to your readers, because I'm sitting here like, so she lied, actually, and she's just as insane as everyone else. Which, like, fair. You can say that's like a comment on society. It isn't. But, like, don't. This one too. Lies. But it is coming from someone who doesn't even have any, it's from one of the characters that we don't even pay attention to, so I don't care that much. But when it's the main character, I'm like, you're joking. You're joking. So the crash revolves around some bitch named Tegan. She's pregnant. 21-year-old mother, I think. I don't know, my age, in her early 20s. And she had a one-night stand. It happens. But she's making this deal because her baby daddy... Oh my god, I should have given it a synopsis for Woody. Like I said, all over the place. Sorry. If you don't like it, leave. But also, I feel like this would stimulate some people with ADHD because I'm going all over the place. But I'm also getting there. You know what I mean? Okay. She's making this deal because she found out her baby daddy is... Because she didn't know who the baby daddy was at first. Whore. No. Don't slut shame. Wait. Wrong. I don't know what the symbol is. Don't slut shame. Okay? Because it happens. So then she didn't know who her baby daddy was, and then she saw the news and she was like, oh shit, it's this really rich guy. Awesome. She could have Googled him first. Didn't. Instead she called him up and was like, hey, I'm pregnant with your baby. Are we gonna live happily ever after? Obviously not, because this is a rich news reporter, has a wife, kids. Like, one Google search would have let you know you need to get the check, and that's it. But anyways, she made it such a whole complicated thing. Like, he did too. He got a lawyer, write shit up, whatever, right? But then the day comes that she has to sign the contract, and she smells him. She smells the news guy, because the news reporter decides to come in to see her sign it. I guess he wants to see her actually do the shit. You know what I mean? Which, you know what? That's good, because gotta make sure we're agreeing. So she lets him in, and she smells his perfume or whatever, right? And then plot twist here, spoiler warning. Well, whatever, I don't care. She goes, "Oh my god, he actually raped me," and I was like, hold on. There were some hints of foreshadowing where she was like, "I don't remember much of the night," or whatever. But that's me on a regular day, you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, like, and you're inebriated. But like the whole time she thought it was consensual until she smells his perfume. And I understand that when it comes to rape victims, a lot of things trigger them. The memory comes back. Understandable. I was just so thrown off with how it just appeared. I was like, hold on. Because she herself, and I understand again, rape victims, they convince themselves, they're like, oh yeah, this didn't happen to me. I understand. But I was just so confused because Tegan was like so sure. And again, I understand, don't come for me, I understand. But it just seemed so out of place. Like I was not expecting that reveal, which I feel like, fuck off, okay? That's an awful fucking reveal, okay? You don't just go, it's not like a wig reveal. No, you don't do that. I don't care. That's where I draw the line, okay? That's probably why I don't read a lot. Like, I don't read splatterpunks, because I'm not playing these games with you. I'm not gonna have the reveal be a child get, no. So that I was already like, the fuck? So she doesn't sign the deal that's gonna set her up for life, like $1,000 whatever, right? Fair. Go take him to prison. Buckle up though. It's gonna be a ride. But she kicks him out, whatever. Her lawyer doesn't believe her. Well, it's not her lawyer, I forgot the fucking guy's name. I could probably look at it. I'm not doing that. I do not want to open any of her books again. But Jake doesn't believe him. That's the lawyer. Doesn't believe her. And she's like, okay, you guys gotta get out. Her brother, forgot the brother's name, calls her, is like, hey, like, did you get the money? She was like, no. But like, she doesn't want to tell him what's going on. You know, fine. I get it. So her brother doesn't know what's going on, but she's like, oh my god, I feel so bad for you. I feel so sorry that you had to go through whatever you went through, because he doesn't know. Do you want to come over? Please, you're alone. You're about to give birth, please. At first she was like, nah, like, I shouldn't be driving. But then she was like, yeah, whatever, because she's alone. Literally. And so the next day, instead of being a smart cookie, she had, she started driving to her brother's house, after her shift, and it was supposed to be a blizzard. So it was like, you don't have that much brain, okay? And I'm jumping the gun, but I don't care. It wouldn't have mattered if she had gone before or after her shift anyway, because her brother, plot twist, plot reveal, or whatever, her brother was actually trying to kill her. Okay, girl. If it isn't bad enough, I'm like, you're like literally me on my worst day. So I'm like, the fuck, mind you, that reveal is given at like the 65th chapter. Like, you find out that her brother was trying to kill her. Like, no build up, no nothing. The only foreshadowing, because I remember, the only foreshadowing that this can be implied, which I don't believe, like, she types in plot twist on ChatGPT, and it gives her bullshit, and she just picks what she just picks the top 3 that he what is ChatGPT? She just picks the top 3 that are given right off the bat. She says that she meets the baby daddy when she went to stay at her brother's job, because her brother has like a ski resort job or whatever. I don't know. He's a bum, basically. So we find out that the brother's trying to kill her because he had a whole deal set up with the guy who raped his sister, and he needed the money to go through. But what are you gonna say? Oh yeah, so he had a whole deal, but the deal was gonna fall through if the sister doesn't take the money. So that's why he was like constantly, because he was constantly calling her like, did you get the money? You're gonna get the money, you're gonna sign it, you're gonna sign it. And then the hospital, after she was kidnapped, I'll get there, after she was kidnapped and everything, he was like, are you gonna sign it? You should sign it, you should sign it, because you just got kidnapped and now you're in the hospital, and now you're gonna be like in $1 billion of debt because it's the U.S. health department. The U.S. health system. And when she was like, no, I'm not gonna do it because he raped me, he like tried to kill her. And then the guy, I'm sorry if I'm jumping the gun a lot, it's just like I can't, and I should have written my thoughts down, but I feel like this is just I'm in my element. And you know who saves her? The bitch who kept her hostage the entire time. Now let's rewind. So she gets in the car, she gets into an accident because her brother tried to kill her. And while she was getting in the accident, Jake, the lawyer, calls her and was like trying to explain some bullshit that's going on, and then she didn't get it because it was cutting, because you know they live in buttfuck upstate New York or whatever, I'm assuming. And they barely get any reception there. So she gets into a crash and she's like, oh fuck, like I'm gonna die here, I'm pregnant, I'm a fucking idiot. Like but then this guy in a truck, like a trucker guy saved her, whatever, takes her to their home, and he has a wife, so she feels a little bit more comfortable. But like, you know, a man and a woman, ugh, shoot me, honestly. And so she gets there, the wife is like, okay, like, you're gonna go downstairs to the basement because I have a hospital there, because I used to be a nurse. Like, she has a hospital bed, like all this shit, right? Like when you take care of somebody in home nursing stuff, right? And she stays there, whatever. And this is where all the bullshit starts to happen. And this is where I get a little more frustrated with the writing, because a lot of what happens wouldn't happen if our characters communicate. Can I talk? If these characters communicated properly. You know what I mean? And I get that miscommunication can be a trope and can be a force to drive things, but if that's the only force, you need to rethink your writing. Because the whole time, Tegan, right? I'll put something there. Maybe. Tegan, she's like, oh my god, Polly's probably getting beat the fuck up by Hank, because Hank is the husband, right? Oh my god, how awful. Oh my god, we have to escape this scary man. Polly over here thinks Tegan is a bad mother. Mind you, she didn't even give birth yet. And she because, oh my god, I'm missing so many little details, I'm sorry. But there was a flask and a lighter in her purse. So Polly makes the assumption she's drinking and smoking. First of all, you didn't even ask me. Because if you asked me, I'd be like, that's my brother's. But no, straight to assumption. Fine, I can see that, because I would also think that. But the difference between Polly and I is that I would have been like, literally, you're 8 months pregnant and you have a flask and a lighter. What's that about? I just need to know if I have to call a CPS or not. You know what I mean? But that would have cleared up so much. And again, a lot of it, And like, not even miscommunication, it's just a bunch of assumption. Just a bunch of, on Polly's side mostly, because Tegan, the only thing she's thinking, like, oh my god, I'm stuck here with someone who's an abusive person, he's abusing his wife, like, I never see him because he never goes down, he never goes downstairs to the basement, only talks to Polly. So, which Polly never corrects, mind you. Polly never ever, like, says something about it. And she did once, but then she, like, saw that it, like, kind of eased Tegan to be like, oh, we're gonna escape together, because she was trying to hold her hostage. Because another issue that I have with this book, which is another thing about mental health, is the fact that she had issues with infertility, and I understand heavily how hurtful and depressing that is. And I do know that there are some cases where women go to extreme lengths to get a child. Legally or not, they do. However, it is the fact that she did all this with just the assumption, not the confirmation, that she was a bad mom. Mind you, the baby hasn't been born yet. I was like, you're doing all this and you're not, because I'm insane. So, well, I'm very confrontational. So I think that's what bugs me. But I know as a reader, we tend to try to relate. And the miscommunication is where I do not relate. And I think that's why I have a bunch of issues with her books. Because had it been me, I would have been like, do you want your kid or not? Because I've been struggling. And I would love to take care of your kid. Though, that would have been a very, very short story. So I do, like, I understand. It's just so, like, I don't know. It's so aggravating. So, yeah. So, Polly keeps Tegan, and she tries to induce labor and all that because she wants the baby. She wants it so bad. Like, she's gonna kill her for it because her and Hank must have a family. Mind you, Hank does not give a fuck, bro. Hank is like, oh, shit. Hank is like, oh my god, I don't care if you have a kid. Like, I just want you. You should go see your psychiatrist. And I'm like, oh, brother. And so she's like, I don't need a fucking psychiatrist. I need a fucking baby. And you're lying to me that you don't want a baby. But it's like, if that were the case, he would have left you. Men leave for so many other things. He would have cheated on you, actually. He would have had a baby on you. Because men don't give a fuck. I'm sorry to say. They don't. So, if he really wanted a kid that bad, he would have had a mistress, had a baby. Would have been like, okay, I'm going to take your baby. You know what I mean? Or maybe I'm unhinged. Maybe that's fine. Maybe these books were meant for people with no brain. But seeing that most white people enjoy this, they are. I'm on to something. So, anyways, back to the... So then, and then another thing with Freida's book that pissed me off, like, I don't mind twist after twist, reveal after reveal, if they weren't so hyped up so much and then it's like so mundane. Like, it was hyped up throughout the chapters in Ward D about the teacher being kidnapped. I don't give a fuck. Like, at a point I got to the point that the teacher was kidnapped, I was like, I don't care anymore. Like, I want to know what's going on. And it's like, I want to know, because with Ward D, I don't think she really did that with the crash. But with Ward D, she split the story into two. So what's currently happening, and then what's happening 8 years ago, I think it was, right? So if this were a sitcom, it'd be plot A, plot B. Plot A. at first I wasn't so invested because I was so invested on finding out what was going on plot B. But the more plot B kept dragging on, I was over it because plot A was like, it was starting to amp up. So I didn't give a fuck. Matter of fact, I probably would have helped her. No, I did not care anymore that she was, you know, like, she stole her teacher. I didn't care. I didn't give a fuck. So it's just like, so this is the same thing here. So she ends, like, later on in the story, she ends up splitting it into two plot lines, whereas Tegan, well, point of views, where it's Tegan, and then it's Polly and Hank. And Hank is like, you gotta let her go. She doesn't want to be here, whatever. But Polly's all like, no, we need to have a kid. And she's like so desperate to have a kid. And I understand. And I do know that there are some cases. But it's just, and she's doing all of this based off of assumptions. And that's what pisses me off. I hate that. And I wouldn't hate it so much if she doesn't use those assumptions to justify what she's doing, and instead justify it by saying, I want a kid. I don't care if she's a good mom or a bad mom. I want a baby, and this is my only opportunity. I don't need to justify anything. I want this kid. I would appreciate that much more than her being like, she smokes, she drinks, she's a bad mom, she was driving in this weather, she doesn't care, she wants to take pain meds because her foot, oh shit, she broke her foot. She wants to take pain meds because she broke her foot. She eats tuna. Fuck off with the tuna, okay? Mercury, you're gonna tell me that if I eat 1,000 cans of tuna, I'm gonna die of mercury poisoning? I'm not. Coming from a chemist, by the way, don't eat 1,000 cans. I know I won't die. As for the baby. So as a chemist, if you're pregnant, don't eat 1,000 cans of tuna, please. Thank you. And so I was like, shut up. Like, shut up. Like, shut up. Shut up. Because, and then later on, she tried to justify it because Tegan, tired, drained. I'm like, a week in this basement. Broken ankle, swollen as fuck, an infection. She's gonna get sepsis. And she's like, oh my god, no one cares about me. It's just my brother. That's it. Right? And she's like, this is perfect. She basically confirmed what I thought all along. No, she didn't. She's just telling you that it's only her brother that cares about her. Nowhere in that text does it say, like, nowhere in that text does it say that I'm going to be a bad mother. I'm just letting you know that no one else is in my life. Which, as someone who has a single mother, fuck off. Okay? My mother's great. I'm educated. I've gotten awards for science. Like, like, being a single mom, just clicked in my head. But being a single mom is not a death sentence, okay? And it's not, you can treat it as one if that's how you feel. So that's how I feel. But it's not. And I've seen women do it all. I've seen my mother do it all. And I have a sister. So I've seen, okay? I've seen my aunt do it. I'm seeing everyone, like, literally everyone, because these men are awful, do it. You know what I mean? So, are some bad? Yes. But at the end of the day, a lot of our parents try their hardest, okay? Single mom does not mean I do not have a father, by the way. I love my dad. So, it's like, Polly just perpetuated a lot of stereotypes. I guess that's what, like, subconsciously, I guess, that's what bothered me too. Because now I'm, like, thinking about the book again. And, like, a lot of other stuff is clicking to me. But it's just, like, it's ridiculous. And ridiculous on so many levels. She could have just opened a Wattpad account. And I would have enjoyed these. Because I read a bunch of different stuff on Wattpad. And I've loved all of them because it was from a point of view of, like, you're starting out and this is an outlet for you. And I'm happy for you. And I love creative work, even if it's bad. But when you are gonna sit here and take up publishing time. Also, anytime, maybe it's my books. Anyone can hurt me. But anytime it's like tap is rap. Am I dumb? Or like, is that a spelling mistake? And why is it consistent throughout all these 3 books? Unless I somehow got so fucking unlucky that I got 3 messed up books. You know what I mean? Oh, another one where it was like car, but it was cat. I was like, you're getting in what? So I realized up to the 2nd book already. And there are some people that read like 1,000 of these and don't realize it. So I feel like I'm already ahead of the curve. I feel like that guy, he was like mining and then he gets to the diamonds. I got to the diamonds. Okay, everyone else is still mining. So I realized throughout these 2 books, it's woman does something crazy because she's crazy. And there's a dumb plot reveal in the end. And that's what it is. So I was like, Coming from a doctor, brain doctor, neuroscience, I'm like, you're sick. You're sick. No one else is sick. You're sick. Because why? How? That's what frustrates me. Because like I said in the beginning, a lot of the plots are good, but I also heard, allegedly, that she plagiarizes and uses ChatGPT. So, I don't know what to think about her character, the author's character. All her other characters in the book, shit. Awful people. I would not like them if I met them in real life. I would hate you. I would not fuck with you. So, that sucked. And the other reveal on this one is that Hank, because there's a little girl, Sadie. Sadie doesn't show up often. That's why I didn't really bring her up. But Sadie, Tegan gets saved, and that's where we find out that her brother was trying to kill her. Because he tried to kill her at the hospital. Mind you, what a fucking idiot, okay? Tried to kill her at the hospital. Like, what are you doing? So, Hank, if we find out that Hank killed Sadie's dad. And Sadie saw the whole thing, but she doesn't care because why would I care about someone who abused me? You know what I mean? And that, again, is like you just plopping reveals to plop them. Like, there's no significant value in that. Because he was drunk, so they found him face down, dead on the snow. Like, any drunk could have passed out, face down, suffocated. You know what I mean? So it's like, there's no need to drop that kind of information. But like, of course she did, because she probably forgot about what she wrote in the first fucking page, where it's Hank killing someone, not Tegan. Because when I read this, I was like, oh, okay, Tegan's gonna fight her way through. She's gonna have to fucking kill these people because they're keeping her hostage, you know? But it's Hank. And she probably wrote that shit, and then she probably saw the deadline, and she's like, oh, fuck, I have to actually write something. No, hate her. But it's just like, I'm over it. Like, I'm done. And I'm so happy. Like, I bought these 2 books not knowing who she was. I just bought them because everything's a New York Times bestseller here in New York, okay? So, I was like, whatever, I'll just buy these 2. Not expensive, like, I don't care. And then I found out that she's a shit author. And I was like, oh, fuck, man. And I already got those 2 books. And this one, my best friend bought them for me. Like I said in the beginning, it's fine. I still enjoyed the book. It's very Gone Girl. With insane added, reveals for no reason. Just stupid shit, right? It was like a mixture of, like, I'm trying to think of the show, but I don't remember. But it was like, it's definitely inspired by Gone Girl, or plagiarized, basically. And it's about Blake, Krista, and Whitney. But Krista's actually Whitney, and Whitney's actually Amanda. I know. So, but I'm gonna refer to them how they stay throughout the entire book until the last few pages. So, Blake gets fired from the job. Fuck. And he has a brownstone in New York. That shit cost $1,000. It's more than that, obviously. But I can't. 1,000 is a lot for me. So I say $1,000 when I think something's expensive. But we're talking an actual brownstone, like $200,000 minimum brownstone in New York, the city. Because you got all the trains, you got all the bullshit there. So they're going to charge you whatever the fuck they feel like over there. So he's stressing about the mortgage. He's like tweaking out, going to the gym, whatever. And his wife, or his fiance, Krista, who's actually Whitney, is like, oh, we can sell my ring. And he's like, no, fuck no, I don't want you to sell your ring. So he's like, okay, let's get a tenant. So he's like, fine, fuck it. Because he doesn't want her to sell the ring. But I would have been like, sell the fucking ring. Actually, it's 2 months. I'll get a job by then. I'm gonna lock in. But that's me, though. And so, this crazy lady, whatever, this psychic lady comes in to see the room. And she's like, I got bad vibes here, bad energy. And then she touches Krista's hand. And she's like, oh my God, Blake is gonna kill you. Blake is gonna kill you. And she's like, what the fuck? And I'm gonna just say it chronologically because the crash really frazzled me. And then they meet Whitney. She's very normal, very cool. So like, okay, you got the room. You got lucky. And throughout the week, it's just horrible. Like, thumping, eating up all my cereal, like, using all my soap, making my life hell. And Blake decides to go to her job and tell her, like, you need to stop doing that bullshit. And she was like, what the fuck? And that's where everything went downhill for Whitney and Blake. Whitney, who is Amanda, by the way. I know. And so then, I know I gave up the reveal, like, earlier, but, like, I don't care right now. Because that was a stupid bullshit reveal, okay? So he's losing his mind. He's starting to break out in rash because he thinks Whitney is poisoning his shit with Lebanon because he's fucking Lebanon? Some fragrance shit. Some chemical that's in the fragrance for detergent. And he's like losing his mind, and then his goldfish dies, and he's like, Whitney fucking killed the goldfish. And he's like, what the fuck? And he's like losing his mind. And then there's lipstick stains on his shirt, and his phone was found in her room. So Krista was like, you're fucking shit on me, and I'm leaving. I'm done. And Blake was like, oh my God, like, no. But she leaves. She does not give a fuck. And the next night, I think, he finds out that his neighbor is dead. And he was like, oh, what the fuck? Like, my neighbor's dead. Whitney did it. Like, he's going on. He's, like, going off about Whitney. He's like, this is fucking Whitney's fault. This is fucking Whitney's fault. Then he calls up. You know that scene from Mrs. Really Place? He calls up Whitney's old high school. He goes, hey, do you know Whitney Cross? What's her deal? And the lady's like, oh my God, this bitch is crazy. She allegedly killed her boyfriend and the bitch she cheated on her with and all that. And like, she's insane, and like, she would torture you if you made a mistake and all that. And I was like, what? I was like, what are you talking about right now? Like, is this real? It's not. It's fictitious. Which is why I'm, like, trying to give it grace, but then I'm like, you're insane. So, he's like, oh, what the fuck? Just send me her transcripts. He's gonna give me her address. He doesn't say that, but he's thinking it. So he gets the transcripts. He finds the address. He drives over there. And he's like, this bitch does not really look like Whitney, but it's fine. He sits there, he's talking to her, and she was like, yeah, he cheated on her, so Whitney killed Jordan and the girl, I don't know what the girl's name was, because that's sick in the head. Like, she's sick in the head. She's a psychopath. Which, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. And, what was it? I just finished it too. Sorry. Okay. And then he asks for water or some bullshit, and he looks around, and then he's like, oh my god, that's not Whitney, that's Krista, my fiance, my ex-fiance, whatever the fuck she is. And I'm like, oh brother. And it was good up until Krista's point of view, because it just retells us everything that he, like, Blake went through, but just from her point of view. And I was like, bitch, we know. You could have scrapped all of that, and unless she needed a word count to hit, she could have scrapped all of that and just started from when she found out Blake cheated on her. Which, again, lying is not being an unreliable narrator. You are just a liar. Okay? Because he was like, I would never cheat on you. I would never cheat on you. Oh shit, my jacket fell. I would never cheat on you. I would never cheat on you. You did, though. And you hide it from not just me, but from Krista. And she found out. And I had to find out at the same time Krista did. Because you lied. So it's not a fucking reveal. It's a fucking lie. Excuse my language. So he went through her phone, and she was like, Stacey was like, had a great time last night, and let me know if you want to do it again next time. Like, okay, but mind you, she knew the wife or the fiance, whatever, right? And so she was like, I'm 99% sure, bitch, you know, okay? Like, so she goes and kills Stacey. Fine, I can get behind that. Don't, I'm joking. And then she kills Stacey. She kills this dude named Elijah. Don't know why he's there. Unnecessary character, honestly. After she has sex with him, she kills him because she's tying loose ends, whatever that means. Then she goes to the brownstone because she has to finish killing off Blake and Whitney, who's Amanda. And she wants to kill Whitney because she found out that, obviously, she took her name. And she's using her name to live a life. And she's pissed off because she was like, had I known that the heat was off me, I would have just taken my name back instead of being Krista. Okay, bitch, but you didn't know. And now someone else has her name. Like, I don't know. Like, the early bird gets the worm. And so that's why she wants to kill her. Krista tries to kill Blake by giving her cookies, like, by giving her the cookies or whatever. I don't know. And it had the poison from the pufferfish. Fine. Which, that was a really funny episode when it came to Total Drama Island. That shit was so funny. Trent was like stuck, and I'm like, anyways. So that happened, and he threw it up immediately because he ate it right before, like, during the car ride to Whitney's house. So he, like, oh shit, and he, like, threw it up or whatever. I'm all over the place, so I'm sorry, like, generally. Krista tries to gain trust from Whitney, and she's like, actually, I know, okay? I know that you're me, that you're using my name. But she doesn't say that she's using her name. She just says that, I know you're not Whitney Cross. Okay? I know you're not Whitney Cross. Why are you hiding it? And, I know your name's Amanda. And she's like, oh my god, have I been saying Amanda? Oh, I've been saying Amanda. I'll fix it if not. She's like, I know. And I was like, okay, brother. And so Amanda was like, oh my god, I used it because I got money from loan sharks for my mom's chemotherapy, and she ended up dying anyway, so it didn't even matter, so I had to leave. had to run off because I owed them money and they're gonna kill me. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Lie, by the way, we'll get to that. But she still wants to kill her. After hearing all this, she's like, no, you still use my name, you stupid bitch. I'm gonna kill you. I'm going to kill you. So I was like, okay. And so she basically makes Whitney feel comfortable because she's like, oh, you know, I have to leave because Blake is scaring me. Playing the damsel in distress, essentially, to gain her trust. And so that happened or whatever. And so they're looking at apartments together behind Blake's back or whatever. And Blake is like rushing home because he's like, oh shit. And he's like, I should call 911. He doesn't. I would have. I don't care how crazy my story sounds. I would have been like, go to my fucking house right now. Do a welfare check on my tenant. Anyways, so then he was like doing all that bullshit, right? He was driving. It's like going insane. His vision is doubling, tripling, quadrupling. He's like, oh my god, I'm gonna fucking die. Oh my god. And which the whole thing, like, that's another thing because I'm a forensics major. And she's like, I had to time this perfectly because if not, then they're not gonna suspect Blake. I'm like, shut up. Like, you can't time anything perfectly when you commit a crime. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's not the case. And it's like, she killed. This is another thing. She stabbed. Krista stabbed Whitney. Or let's switch it around. Whitney, who was also known as Krista, stabbed Amanda, also known as Whitney, before Blake entered the house. You don't think... Obviously, she doesn't think. But cameras, especially in the city, like, there's some other brownstone that caught that shit on ring door on a ring doorbell cam, and you're gonna tell me that you thought it was like I was like, you didn't think that through at all. And then she opens the door. Like, you thought you were gonna get off scot-free. You open the door. Krista, also known as Whitney, also known as Amanda. Krista opens the door. So it's like, you were never gonna be free. You were never gonna be that girl. So I'm like, what the fuck? Anyways, so she was laying there. Well, not she. Blake was laying there. He was like, fuck. I'm faded. He was like, I'm dying. I can't breathe. I'm dying. He's like lying on the floor. The bitch Krista's like, and Amanda, also known as Whitney, Amanda, I don't know what happened, but I think stabs her through her throat because she starts gargling and like starts, but that's what I think happened because like that part was so unclear. But if you understood it better than me, by all means, go ahead. And so like, and she dies, and then happily ever after, right? And he moves to back to Cleveland. But before that ends, we get Amanda point of view. And she's like, well, actually, I took her name because I had gambling debts from the loan sharks. Okay. Why did you lie? Again, it's not a reveal if you're lying, I feel like, but you can correct me. So I'm like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I would be like, I just owed money, sorry. Like, you don't need to say anything else beyond that. I would have been like, I owe money. And that's all. But yeah. Oh, and we find out a bunch of things. We find out that everything that was making Blake go insane was actually Krista, also known as Whitney, was doing. And Whitney, also known as Amanda, lost her house because she made Elijah go and be like, is she here? She sells crack. Okay, this is New York, babe. That would not have gotten that. Unrealistic. Overall, I can see why some people say this is like a palate cleanser, and it's something you can read 2 days, 1 day if you're really like on it. But I have no, like, I don't know, honestly. I'm speechless. But I love it, I guess. It's fast-paced, or like rushed. I can't really find anything good to say. I'm sorry. I don't care if you like these. Everyone else has different taste. And I don't judge, because any movie I see is a good movie to me. So I know there are people that are like, every book to me is a good book. Good for you. I wish I was like that.